Welcome everyone. We have the Takara Transformers MPG-9 Super Ginrai. In a way, this is our first-fledged, fully going forward MPG series figure. Until now, we've had the train bots with Raiden, and every new release going forward will be part of the MPG line. There is a companion release that is Masterpiece 60. This is the last Masterpiece figure, but for most people, this release is what you want to get. With this, you'll get the robot, the cab, the trailer, and you'll be able to combine into Super Ginrai. You can also look at this guy as Power Master Optimus, although Takara did not intend this release to be Power Master Optimus Prime, but the original mold was shared by Takara and Hasbro, and even though that was the same product, these are completely different characters in continuity. So for the packaging, we've got this nice MPG logo here that is in this metallic foil. We've got the 40th anniversary logo, and we've got the T-Spark logo, and Takara is basically branding all their high-end toys with the T-Spark line. So you're likely going to see this and the 40th anniversary on all of the upcoming releases. So here is the top, very similar to the Masterpiece line. Here is the bottom. And there is a QR code there if you want to look at that. Here is the side, and we've got the truck mode. Here is the other side, and we've got Ginrai in super mode. And here is the back, and we've got some nice photography of Ginrai in various poses. Shows us what we can do with the figure, shows us all the accessories, the different modes. Some of these are posed in ways that he was depicted in the Japanese cartoon, and then a full breakout of all the accessories right here. So let's get this guy out of the box. So here we have the tray, and there's a lot going on. So we've got Ginrai in his vehicle mode. We have two Power Master Ginrai, one that is the actual toy, one that is static that we can use to pilot the truck. We've got blast effects. We've got a set of large guns, a set of small guns, lightning effects, some switch out pieces for the shoulders. I believe this is a adapter for the flight stands. We've got some different fists. We also get instruction manual, a file card, and some stickers. The file card is pretty nice. It is bent. Don't usually see that with Masterpiece, but here's the back, and it looks pretty cool. You get some stickers, and this is basically to turn the trailer into a toy deco version. And then you get a nice full color booklet. And there's a lot about the toy and the development. And then a bunch of instructions. And if you get the MP60, there's a whole thing on the inside about the development of the original toy. So let's get this guy out of the box. So for accessories, there is a lot going on here. So he has two additional heads. The one with the red eyes is meant to be a toy deco. The one with the blue eyes is meant to be a different expression. Maybe he's meant to be more serious in this look. He comes with two blast effects, same ones that MP60 also comes with. He's got his iconic shoulder cannons. He's got 2 sets of guns, one for the robot mode for Ginrai and one for the super mode. They both do convert so that they can be stored in vehicle mode. He's got these lightning effects that he can hold in his hands in both the smaller and combined Ginrai. He comes with 2 different fists, and these are meant to be toy deco. He has these additional shoulder pieces which will show off in the super mode that he's often shown with when he doesn't have the shoulder cannons. He's got a crotch adapter for the Takara figure stand. And then he comes with 2 Ginrai figures. One is for the actual toy and transforms. The other one is a static figure that is meant to be in scale and also supports a gimmick that you can place him inside the cab and pretend he's driving. So his vehicle mode is pretty impressive. They have made some adjustments to make this guy look heroic in the Super Ginrai mode. So just kind of looking at this in person, I think the trailer is probably longer than you would expect the trailer to be, but they've done that to accommodate the proportions of the robot mode. I've seen people complain about the arms sticking out, and while the original toy, the arms were, didn't go up this high compared to the top of the truck, these arms were also very tiny. So what do you want? You want tiny robot arms, or do you want longer arms that stick up? And I don't know. I was one of those people that are kind of like, that's interesting, but it's kind of grown on me. And if you think of these like smokestacks per se, it's fine. And when you put the shoulder guns onto them, you don't even think about it anymore. Like, they take up the space. You can also take the big guns and switch out the handles and plug them into the back. And because of the handle transformation, they also serve to be able to articulate. You can also take the smaller mode guns, and there is a slot and a tab, and you can just put them back here for storage. Or just make a, super gun. So you can do that too. There is not really any storage in the truck mode, but they did give us what they could. So you can pretend somebody's going in there. You can also stick human Ginrai in here and close this up. So that's an option. And then you can also apply those stickers and basically give him a toy look, which is, the only difference is with the cartoon look, you've got the Autobot symbol without the white outlining. The toy has the white outlining. Also, the color doesn't quite match, but it is closer to the original toy. It's got that purple that you see a lot associated with Optimus figures. It's not too noticeable, but I kind of feel like if they were going to do this and not match this color well enough, should have given us stickers to fill out the rest. For Ginrai himself, you've got a pretty small truck mode, and I know that this, as a toy from the 80s, Ginrai and Power Master Optimus Prime were the same product, same mold. And the continuity, these are 2 different characters. And when I think about Ginrai, I think he's probably closer to the size of what Huffer's alt mode is supposed to be. I don't know, but his alt mode is quite a bit smaller. And compared to the original is a little bit taller. And then there are some subtle differences between MPG-9 and MP60. You've got these painted yellow reflectors on MPG-9, and on MP60 they are not colored. Also, the Power Masters are slightly different. MPG-9 is gray paint on the engine block and chrome on MP60. And there's a little gimmick where there's a little button underneath that you can press, a little red tab in the middle. You can press that to eject the Power Master. Also, with the deco of the robot mode, this is MPG-9 and this is MP60. You can see MPG has a brighter red and there's more color on the chest. There's actually a little tiny Autobot symbol, and also the face is painted in a flesh color on the MPG-9, as this is supposed to denote that this is a human wearing a, like an exosuit. So for robot mode and also going into articulation, this guy has a lot of articulation. So we've got a up and down swivel on the head, side to side swivel. We've got an extreme butterfly pose for the shoulders. The shoulders are on a separate hinge here, a swivel hinge, as well as an additional disc hinge. Then he's got upper bicep swivel. He's got single elbow, but because of the way it's engineered, it gets way past 90. The hands have Carbot style finger articulation where the 4 fingers together move and then the thumb is static. The wrist is on a mushroom peg and there's a little bit of give because of the transformation on the wrist. He does have an ab crunch, and there's even a little bit of detailing work inside there. He's got a waist swivel. He's got these hip skirts, and the single hip skirt does get out of the way. The wheels get out of the way. There's also a drop down system so that you can get some really high kicks. The hips are on a disc hinge. They are ratcheted. The ratchets are pretty wide. That's one complaint I have about this figure, but it's not a deal breaker. There is a upper thigh swivel. There is double knee. The top knee does peg in, so just kind of be aware of that. There's going to be a very sharp snap when you undo this. The feet, because of transformation, need to extend downwards, so just be aware of that. If it seems like you're not getting articulation, you may not have pulled the feet out all the way. But they have a really deep rocker, and there is a good bit of up and down because of that. And here he is with MP60. And you can see there are quite a few color differences. The main thing is that the MPG-9 has the blue eyes, the MP60 has the red eyes. The crotch plate is quite a bit different. Along with the detailing on the legs, you've got these accents on MP60 to emulate the stickers from the original toy. And then you have this black paint on MPG-9 to simulate how he looked in the animation. Here he is with the original toy. For comparison, it's come quite a long way. You'll notice that he's almost the same size, but other than that, that's about it. And here he is with MP Wheeljack, and he is a little bit taller, so a little bit bigger than your average carbot, not as tall as, for instance, Ratchet or Trailbreaker. I show this guy because this is probably one of the only figures that you can get a sense of scale of this figure as a Ginrai figure, as far as this being the correct height. And in the Masterpiece animation, there is a scene with Wheeljack and Minerva, and there's lots of scenes with Ginrai and Minerva. And this does seem to be the correct height for Ginrai. Not for Power Master Optimus Prime, but definitely for Ginrai. So here he is with Masterpiece Ironhide. So you can get a sense of how he scales with him. MP44, quite a bit taller. Masterpiece Rodimus. Ultra Magnus, who is extremely large compared to Ginrai. And Saber, who is quite a bit smaller than him. And Ginrai with the Brain of Courage. Little tiny itty bitty. This is probably the smallest Masterpiece robot we've got right here. He does have his iconic base mode, and just like the original toy, you can place him back here. You can place him in the front. You can position his guns in different places. But you get the general idea, just like the original G1 toy. And finally, here we have Super Ginrai in his combined mode. And I will say overall, the figure is pretty impressive. So for articulation, he does have a head that is on a up and down hinge and a swivel. He's got butterfly joints. He's got disc hinge. These little pops kind of move out the way, and you can get the arms up pretty high. He's got bicep swivel. The hands are articulated like most of the higher end MP figures, where the index finger has two joints. The bottom three fingers are on their own separate knuckle joint. The thumb has a single joint. No lateral movement. There is a ab crunch. There is a waist swivel on a ratchet. The hips are on a disc hinge. There is thigh swivel. There's a very, very, very extreme knee bend. And the feet, there is a basically one position for the inner, and technically this whole entire foot kind of moves, so you can get some pretty deep movements out of here. And I expect there's not a whole lot of room in the foot for articulation, because God Bomber has to attach to this eventually. But overall, pretty amazing articulation. And so you can take the larger guns, and they peg into the hand. like your typical Masterpiece style. And then you can have him dual wield his guns. For the shoulders, you got two looks. You've got the shoulder blasters, and then you have these extension pieces. And very often in Master Force, you saw him with the extension pieces. This was a common look for him. Now, you can also convert him to a toy mode. Now, some of this is permanent because you've got stickers that need to be put on, and then the head needs to be swapped out, and the head basically just slides off. And this is where you can have the two different portraits. So you got the toy version, and then you've got what they call in the package the anime version. And then for toy version, you probably want to put the shoulder cannons on, because most people are going to associate the figure with that look. This is also where you want to use the different hands. So animation, red fingers, blue hand, toy, blue fingers, blue hand. And this pretty much resembles the original Japanese toy with the blue hand. And then you can see the overall details matching up between these two guys. And for some comparisons, here is Wheeljack again. Here is Ironhide. Here is MP-44 Optimus. Next we have Rodimus. Then Ultra Magnus. And Ultra Magnus is a good bit hard. And Ultra Magnus is a good bit taller, maybe half a head's height. And finally, Star Saber, who is a good bit taller, but if we imagine adding God Bomber, he's probably going to end up being close to the height of Star Saber here. And then sometime later this year, we're going to get the God Bomber armor. We're going to get the God Bomber armor. And this is just a little preview of what we can expect once we are able to complete that entire look. And anybody out there who's got this guy, be careful. I have not touched my copy in maybe 4 or 5 years, and I've broken a couple things on him. One of his joints on his foot broke. There is also a piece on the back of this God Bomber foot that broke off. So just friendly advice, be careful. This plastic is that hard, kind of brittle plastic, and time is probably not on the side of manipulating this figure much. Overall, this is a great figure set. If you're a fan of Master Force, you're definitely going to want to get these figures. If you are a fan of G1, you might want to get this and just say this is Power Master Optimus Prime. Yes, you can display this with Generations figures if you're going to pretend this is Optimus. But if you're a fan of the Japanese lore and continuity, you should definitely pick up this figure. Do you need Super Ginrai and regular Ginrai? No. I would say this is for the diehard fan or somebody who just wants to save some money. You know, you can get this and avoid this, and you'll be fine. So lots of options, and that's always great. Now, are we going to get more Master Force Transformers? I mean, can we even get some Headmasters like Chrome Dome? That is one thing I am interested in, But also, I would really like to finish off at least the season 1 cast for Masterpiece. So give us the rest of the mini bots, especially Wind Charger. No third-party company has done a good Wind Charger, in my opinion. We don't have official Insecticons. We don't have official Reflector. And I know the 3P companies have done it to death, but you know, we need more Dinobots, we need Grimlock redone, we need the Constructicons. But with the way that Takara releases Masterpiece, I just don't know if they're ever get around to getting all them. So just something to think about when you're collecting Masterpiece. You know, people who collect the Generations line, the Legacy line, we almost have an entire original G1 cast complete. So just some things to think about. As always, thanks for watching. If you haven't done so, please like and subscribe. I really appreciate it. And please tune into more videos coming up. Thank you.